Welcome to the Empowered Coaches Changing Humanity Summit, where our mission is to empower coaches to create the change they want to see in humanity today. Your host for this session is Cheryl Stelt. Cheryl Stelt is the CEO and founder of Star of Divine Light Institute and is a spiritual coach, master healer, speaker, and author, and is the creator of the Empowered Coaches Changing Humanity Summit. She has another amazing guest coming right up. Take it away, Stelt.
Hello, Chris. I'd like to introduce Chris Nielson, and he has promised us some fun. We are going to have some serious fun here. And Chris comes to us with more than 30 years of business and sales experience with his love of improv comedy, improvisational comedy to both entertain and educate global audiences. He is a dynamic, powerful, yet playful speaker, trainer, change facilitator, coach, and consultant. Leaders and teams at Microsoft, Intuit, Hilton, Federal Reserve Bank, UCSD, Sony, and many more have shared laughs and memorable experiences as Chris masterfully creates engaging environments through games. And today he is going to talk to us about how to playfully improve your communication and influence skills. Use the proven principles of improv to boost your flexibility, confidence, and connections when communicating. Fun and powerful. All right, tell us more, Chris. Welcome, Chris. How did you get into this improv comedy to help all these people, business people, coaches, everybody?
Well, it helped me first, Cheryl. Improv comedy seeped into my life and uplifted me in all kinds of cool ways. Actually, my talk today, I'm not going to leave the improv one out. I'm going to go other cool ways you can become more magnetic. As a coach, hello, my fellow coaches. I love you and I love what you're up to. We're changing the world out there. And also share your speaking, because if you're a coach, you're also a professional speaker. If you're an entrepreneur, you're a professional speaker. Let's get better at it if we can, so we can empower the world. A lot of this came from my own insecurity, Cheryl. You know, I would be afraid to do improv. Actually, in my first improv class, I almost quit in the last game of the day. But that's a story for another time. Today, I want to share with you, and I know we're going to get it, 20 at least cool things to boost your magnetic skills. 20 of them. We'll focus maybe on 5, maybe 5. Plus, I want to give you this. You might find that procrastination actually can become your superpower. It became mine, and we'll get to that. You might even like, and I don't know if this is sure, you might like to be wrong. I actually did, and it's a secret to me having fun as a speaker. And then here's the other thing. You might be thinking, I don't want to be a zombie, Chris. And that is just a key to something that we'll do just briefly later. Thank you, Cheryl, for having me here. I heard you earlier. You help people become magnetic as well. So I love what you shared earlier.
And you know, I just have to say, can anybody here imagine this guy lacking a lot of confidence and being insecure? Because anyone see Chris in this way? I mean, you are just so confident. Look at
I,
people.
I, I see the nose. And thank you for saying that, Cheryl, because then I can go into kind of the origin story in this. Who would guess that I'm an introvert? Put an I in the chat if you would guess that I'm an introvert. I am. I'm naturally introverted. At a party, I don't go out and say, hi, how are you doing? How are you doing? That's one of the reasons I love speaking, is people get to come up to me. Now, when I was a kid, I was programmed by a TV commercial. Never let them see you
Sweat.
That's right, Cheryl. And I sweat a lot, and I felt defective as a kid because of that. Now, I played a lot of sports, and no coach ever said, hey, Chris, I want you to go out there, play really, really hard, but don't sweat. No coach said that, but people on my own team in practice go, I don't want to guard Chris. He sweats a lot. People on other teams, I don't want to guard Chris. And I felt defective. In 8th grade, I gave a speech, and I was shaking on the way to the speech. I was sweating already, and I couldn't stop my hands from shaking. And when she called on me, it just went out of control. And I poured sweat like I've never poured sweat before. It's like a monsoon rain was released from the top of my head, and rivulets ran down my face. My face went a pure red. And in that moment, I just wanted to disappear. And that moment would haunt me for over 30 years. Every time I'd get up to speak, it'd be, ha ha, they're going to see the real defective you, and they're going to reject you. And so I did some crazy things so people wouldn't see me sweat. I'd buy two shirts exactly the same and switch out right before a speech if given a chance.
Wow.
I will never do this again. I half froze a bottle of water, so it was frozen on the bottom and almost frozen on the top. And as I was being introduced, like you introduced me, Cheryl, I put it on the back of my neck. I would do that again. It felt cold and nice, but I still was sweating. And so I took a huge slug of it. And when I started talking, my tongue felt numb and I was slurring my words and I got all self-conscious and I sweated anyway. I've done a number of other crazy things, but one more I'll share with you is this. I bought panty liners to put here in my armpits. And in practice, they worked great. And I love the laughter in the chat. Bring it on. They work great. And I actually walked in that speech with a level of confidence that I hadn't had before. And I got my panty liners on. I'm good to go. And then halfway during the speech, I looked down and there was a big oh no and another big oh no, because there was a dry panty liner island, perfect outline in a lake of
They
sweat.
leaked. Oh my God.
Both arms. It was dry where the panty liner was, but sweat lake on the outside, so you could see the panty liner outlined island. The rest of the speech, I was like this.
It's not a pretty picture, Chris.
No, so my favorite part in speaking in the past, and I share this for multiple reasons, but for this particular reason, my favorite part in speaking in the past was after I'd given a speech and I thought I did a decent job and I got to sit down. That was my favorite point in the past. My dad was highly critical of me as a kid, and that got internalized. And my deep insecurities about so many things played in that. And then I was on a mission. That's why I love coaches. A mission to help myself and help others drop some of those fears that hold us back. Just let them go, and how good you feel in that. And I want to share some cool things that helped me do that. So that's why I'm excited when you created the summit, Empowered Coaching Summit, Cheryl.
You belong here, Chris.
Thank you for that. And out there in this world, normally I talk to people when I can see your face, but Cheryl, thank you for bringing your smiling face here. You're in a playground, and imagine you're in a playground. Will you play with me out in the chat? Put a play in the chat if you're willing to play.
Who wants to play? Play,
Yes.
play, play. We're going to have some fun.
I love that. And then I want to ask you this as the plays pop in. Thank you for all those plays. Who likes a playful speaker? Put a smiley face or say, yes, me. I like a smiley, playful speaker.
Me, playful speaker. There we go.
And that was one of the keys for me having more fun speaking, because I say this: playfulness erases fear. Playfulness erases fear. And do you know why it erases fear?
Why? Well, you get into your comfort zone.
It brings you to the present beautiful moment. Playfulness erases fear because it brings you present. And when we're present, fear disappears like mist on a sunny San Diego day. The more present you can get, the more fear will disappear. That's when speaking became fun for me. That's when coaching became fun for me. That's when living got more fun. Now I'm a work in progress on all this stuff. So I got to pull myself back to the present moment all the time. And just little things that pull you back to the present will make a big difference. So you've seen the crazy things that make you sweat. I'll talk about zombies. Crazy theory about life and zombies. Who wants to hear a crazy theory about life and zombies? Cheryl, yes. All right, we got some people out there that do. Thank you for that. I say this: the reason why Americans love zombie movies and shows so much is they're a little bit more dead than we are. Did I say that? And I say it this way. Here's what's magnetic: people that are alive, people that are fully alive, living. And you've had moments in your life, I know. Sometimes we go to work, we do the same old routine, we drive home, turn on the TV, go through that routine again and again, and we don't feel that alive. But the moments that bring us alive are usually the present moments. And that's the power. And that's one of the ways we can become so magnetic in terms of what we do. What's your thoughts about that, Cheryl?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And when we're playful, it's like we move into who we truly are. it's just that freedom, like you say, in the present moment, but it gives us that freedom. And that's what people want. We really all want to be like that. Could you imagine if we all played more?
So I love that. And that's why, for me, I look for me. That's where I go into procrastination superpower. Some of you, when I said, they go, no way. For me, working on my speaking skills wasn't working. That's why I created Speaker Skills Plus. It created a playful environment of inevitable success for me to plan my skills instead of work. I was constantly procrastinating. So now I think when I procrastinate, I go, how can I make this playful? How can I make it fun for myself and others to join me? And now I promise this, 20 plus ways you can become more magnetic. I love crowdsourcing wisdom. So Cheryl, let's tap into the wisdom of this incredible crew that's out there. And if you're watching this on video later, I want you to write yours down too. What are all the ways you see in people that makes them more magnetic or more charismatic? Type it in the chat. How do you make someone
What we
more magnetic?
have fun, their smile for sure, honest and vulnerable. I
Yes.
love it. What else? What makes people
They
magnetic?
mess
They
up.
mess up. If they have a secret.
I've got many. Ramona, thank you for that. Yeah, so look at those are just a few ways. Smile, fun, have a secret, be playful. And I'll share a bunch of them with you. I have
Please.
a ton of them in this way. Can you be magnetic without saying a word?
Yes, absolutely.
Think about the amazing dancers and professional athletes. Without saying a word, the way they move their body is got a power to it. Give your body power and energy to it. Smiling, someone said that earlier, smile at people, that genuine warm-hearted smile. And one of the big ones I'll talk about a little bit later is love. I started loving my audience, and it didn't happen naturally for me. A friend of mine, Andre Carter, amazing human being and speaker. He was on stage and the women loved him and the men loved him. Everyone loved this guy. And I asked him one time, Andre, why do people love you so much? And he said, Chris, I love all of them. And I looked and I said, no, no way. The two ladies in the corner, they've been annoying all day. They've annoyed, you can't love them. He said, oh, I love them too. And even you, Chris, even when you're annoying, I love you too. And I can be annoying. I've got some bad habits. But love, I put it this way. We've been trained to dole out love in spoonfuls. Kind of if you do this, I'll give you a little taste of love. Here, take that love in. Versus just giving it out. And one of the things that helped me do that is a simple meditation by Sadhguru that I learned that love is infinite. And the simple thing was this, and you can play along with me out there. If you have one child and you love that child fully, or a pet, or a niece or a nephew, and you love that child fully, and if another child came into your life, would you have to cut your love in half, or would it expand? Yeah, it would expand. Yeah, Cheryl, thank you for that. The beautiful thing is our love expands and expands and expands. It's infinite in nature. So instead of doling it out in spoonfuls anymore, my own practice is to throw it out in bucketfuls. You audience, you are in the splash zone right now, even though I can't see you. I'm sending lots of love out to you. Thank you, Cheryl, for being here and seeing your smiley face. That helps me bring the love. And, the Rumi poem is probably one of my works in practice. Your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find the barriers within yourself that you've built against it. And I built a lot of barriers in myself. And we talked about programming earlier. We've all been programmed in various ways. And one of the other big ones I talk about this is fear. Fear often stops us, and it did for me. Insecure, fearing all kinds of things in life, seeing that you see my defective me and that you would reject me. Put in the chat if you think this, I want to share with you an awareness of this, which will empower all of you out there, this awareness. What is the one fear, modern fear, that underlies almost every other modern fear? If you know it, or even just a guess. I love guesses. I especially love funny and bad guesses. So put your guess in the chat. What is the one fear that underlies modern fears? Rejection. I know that was a big one for me, Megan. Fear of failure. No one will like me. Yes, I think it underlies all those. Fear of mistakes. Being rejected by others. I was definitely afraid of that one. Being alone. Yep, that was a fear as well. Judged, abandonment. all big fears. I think this one underlies them all, and Cheryl talked about it earlier today. This particular fear. Disappointment, all those, I think it underlies every one of those. And it's the fear. Oh, ice cream goes up in price. That's a big fear. Thank you. Thank you, Angel, for bringing the laughs on that one. I appreciate it. Being wrong because I don't know yet. Fear of loss. So let's talk about the fear that underlies them all. Cheryl talked about it earlier. And I'll say it's the fear of being inadequate. The fear of not being enough. So just imagine this. If you were rejected, but you know you're adequate, you know you're more than adequate, you know you're whole and complete, instead of these imaginary holes that whistle through our body with where the wind blows through and it feels like that. Imagine you know yourself as whole and complete. Someone rejects you, it's no big deal. You're wrong, no big deal. And I'll get to that in a second, the reason why I like to be wrong. And I know some of you don't believe me on that. But I do like to be wrong. And I'll tell you why in just a second. But this fear of being inadequate, fear of being rejected, fear of being defective, fear of all these things, because the world is programming us with this I'm not good enough program. So it's time for us to reprogram our clients and ourselves that you are whole and complete just as you are. I believe we are equal in beingness. We have different skill levels in different areas, but we are certainly equal in beingness. And I'll share one of the big secrets of mine for this. In rejection, I even believe the fear of being inadequate underlies the fear of death. If we know we can handle that situation, maybe it's time to bring that on, the new adventure after this life. So the fear covers being wrong, rejected, and all these other things, fear of the unknown. If you know you're adequate to handle the unknown, you're good to go. So let's play with this. What's your thoughts on that, Cheryl?
I just want to say that your comment, equal in beingness, we are all equal in beingness. We are all worthy. We are all adequate. We are all good enough. We're all lovable. But that equal in beingness, how that alone, if we tried to live from that perspective, that we are all equal in beingness. We're all a soul in a human body, right? It could be it is a game changer.
Yeah, thank you for that. And for me, I'll go back to what I said, and I want to live up to my promises. I like to be right, and that used to not be the truth at all. I hated to be wrong. I hated it. And I figured it was a blind spot why I hate it. I never looked deeply in why do I hate this so bad? So one of the things you can do if you're out there in the world, look at if you hate something, dive into why you really hate it. What's the story behind the story? So here's why I hated to be wrong, I figured out. When I was wrong on the outside, I felt wrong on the inside. Wrong on the outside, I made myself wrong on the inside. I've been programmed that way. I started to change that program. Wrong on the outside doesn't touch the beingness. Just makes me wrong on the outside. Plus, I love to learn and I'm super curious. So being wrong actually gives me the opportunity to learn and get curious. And I can tap into the deep wisdom of my audience and be playful with them. So that was actually like taking off a 200-pound backpack that I don't need to wear anymore. So when I walked on stages, I felt lighter and brighter and more confident. So I'd encourage you, if you're out there in the world and you have this feeling, if I'm wrong on the outside, it makes me wrong. It doesn't make you wrong. That's a program, just a program you have. And the cool thing, we are all self-programming creatures as well. We can reprogram that. And that's powerful. One of the other 5 I wanted to focus on is get vulnerable. Someone said it in chat, for charisma and magnetism. You saw me get a little bit vulnerable, that I've been insecure, and I still have some insecurities. I still have some fears, but most of that time I can let them go. I don't follow that downward spiral path anymore. I get to catch myself and go, oh, what would be the upward spiral? And I'll give you one of my compass questions that really helps me get more dynamic and magnetic is this. My first answer is often a scarce answer out of fear. But I get to change that, and here's my programming question that you can take on and use for yourself. Am I coming from abundance or scarcity? Am I coming from abundance or scarcity? And when you answer, yeah, I'm coming from a scarcity, you can say, what would be the abundant answer? And then you can do something different. And I'm constantly doing that. I constantly come up with, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to share this, but what would be more abundant in that situation? When you get vulnerable, when you share yourself with the world, it's like taking everyone, lift up their mask out in the world, lift up your mask, let the world see your eyes, take off your armor, but only in front of safe people and safe environments. I don't say don't get vulnerable with people that don't respect that. Get vulnerable with people that do, and that's where you can make a real connection. Because
And I just so appreciate this. You have given us so much. This session with you has not only been so much fun, it has just been chock-a-block full of information. I deeply appreciate you, Chris Nielson. And I'm wondering if you can just tell us a little bit about your free giveaway, the 9 tips to become more magnetic.
absolutely. Thank you, Cheryl. The 9 tips to become more magnetic is a list of just 9, and I know there's at least 99 plus. We've shared some today. I hope we got close to that 20 number with all that crowdsourcing and everything else we shared. But these 9 tips are specific ones. A couple I mentioned already. Love, and it'll go a little bit in depth, and it talks about how you can use these tips in your life. The awareness of these things is great, but it's up to you out in this world to actually train them and build your magnetic, charismatic muscles. Build your magnetic muscles, and that's the practice of these tips. So you just, I think you send off for this free thing. You just put in your email address, and it will be sent back to you in a little online book that you can open up and read all these different tips, and you'll have ways to play with it. So thank you
Oh,
for
perfect. An online book. Who has clicked on the link for the 9 steps to become more magnetic? Put a 1 in the chat. If you are grabbing this one, Bonnie has, Katja, another Bonnie. Oh, look at them all. Everybody loves you, Chris. I've been watching the whole time. I'm like, everybody loves him because you're loving everybody.
Yeah, and that's a beautiful thing, Cheryl, too, is if you want to get something from the world, start giving it. And what I decided to do is, and I'm, again, still much a work in progress, give love, give love, give love. And it will not always come back from who you expect, but here's the cool thing, too. It feels good to love others. It feels good to love them unconditionally. And that's one of the big ones I didn't mention. Drop your judgment of others, actually your negative judgment. Positively judge them. I judge you all out in the world as wow, wonderful human beings. That's the judgment I have for you.
It has just been amazing. It's been so amazing to have you here and part of this Empowered Coaches Changing Humanity Summit. Megan's writing, your smile says it all, Chris. I mean, you really are transmitting. It's what I'm going to talk about transmission tomorrow. I hope you come to that talk because this man, people, is transmitting something. There's a transmission going through you. And so Art has put the link in for the VIP. And our next speaker is.
Well, let me tell them about the VIP and why they should sign up here for your
Oh,
VIP.
please, yes, tell us about the VIP.
I've sold it for $97. Right now it sells for $49 a month. So you're going to get something that's that valuable that people are buying on a regular basis. It's access to Speaker Skills Plus. It's a free gift certificate for 1 month of Speaker Skills Plus. Now, I always give a golden ticket for 1 free test drive. So you can go, you can take on the test drive and see, is this for me? So you get your 1 month plus another day. And I want to give that to you. That's at least a $49 value. So if you're not a VIP yet, click on that. That will pay for it in itself. And you get to play with us in Speaker Skills Plus, a playful environment of inevitable success on Zoom. Have a ton of fun with people. We'll play with mysteries and metaphor and story structure and humor and get dynamic and playful. And you will have fun playing it if it's right for you. Now, it's only for, and I'm sure everyone on the call is this, big-hearted, caring people. I am picky in that way. I choose who I get to play with. You come play with me, and I promise you'll grow your speaking skills at least 10% in 1 month. And what could that be worth to you in your coaching and personal life? I think pretty infinite. So check out that gift. It'll make joining Cheryl's VIP program worth it by itself.
Absolutely. And you get access to Chris Nielson for an entire month for free. So sign up now. Thank you ever so much, Chris. This has just been so fantastic. And our next speaker is Stephen Kurt, 3 secrets to a dream client pipeline that never runs dry. Who wants that?
Me.
We'll be back at the top of the hour. I am Cheryl Stelch.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you for joining us for another amazing session of the Empowered Coaches Changing Humanity Summit, where our mission is to empower coaches to create the change they want to see in humanity today. For recordings of all sessions, plus an amazing VIP gift bundle full of courses and resources from our knowledgeable speakers, upgrade to VIP. If you have any questions or problems during the summit, email our support team at support@erfsummit.com. Stay tuned. We have another fantastic speaker coming right up.